Hi, I'm Eddie Case. You guys might know me as the Basement Man if you've seen my videos on YouTube. I've been finishing basements for about the last 22 years, and as of late, I've been training homeowners how to finish their own basement. And today, what I'm going to talk about is something that is really going to help you if you're planning on finishing your basement, if you're in those preliminary planning stages. What I've got for you today on the big old whiteboard is going to be some great information that you can use right away, put it to use right away to help you start your basement finishing project. This is where it all begins. And what we're going to be talking about today is the design. Okay? The design. Without a design for your basement, you're kind of like a ship in the ocean without a rudder. All right? And this is what I find most homeowners that want to do their own basement are like. They're just nailing up walls, nailing 2x4s together in an attempt to finish off a portion of the basement. But they don't have any real clear-cut plan of attack, all right? And the plan of attack in any construction project, be a basement or a kitchen, a bathroom, a backyard shed for that matter, you need a plan. You need a floor plan, all right? And you can't arrive at a floor plan without a design. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to be using this big whiteboard in place of what I normally use in the field, a folder. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through this basement that I'm standing in here this morning, which is an actual client. My client has allowed me to film this job to make some of these videos for you. So I'm going to design this basement. And now if I was coming down for the first day, I'd have one of these folders. This is actually what I'll be designing on when I come to see a client. But for educational sake, I'm going to do it on the big whiteboard, what I normally would do on the folder, so that you can see what I'm doing. All right? The first phase of any design is we have to draw the basement. All right, and as you can see, we're standing in an empty basement. And as we know from an earlier video, this basement is a perfect rectangle. Okay, we've got 4 walls down here. We're in a rectangle. There's no outcroppings in this foundation. This isn't a real fancy foundation. Your basement might have some different shapes to the foundation. It might not be a perfect square or a perfect rectangle. But this one is, so we're going to be drawing a perfect rectangle. So I'm going to do that up here on my board, because this is where it all starts. This is the very beginning of your basement project. All right, it starts on paper. So we're going to draw ourselves a rectangle, and I'm just doing this freehand here, so don't expect perfection. I'm no artist. All right, so there's the rectangle. This is the basement that we're in right now. Now, what I'm going to do first, before I put anything in the picture here, stairs and furnaces and all that other stuff that's down here, which will eventually be in here, the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to go around with our tape measure. And I've got a Stanley 30-foot tape here. I recommend you get a contractor grade tape measure. You're going to be using this throughout your basement project anyhow. So get yourself a good tape. This is a 30, but don't get anything less than a 25. And what I'm going to do is real quick, I'm going to run around and measure the 4 walls that we just drew on the big whiteboard there. So I'm going to get the width of the basement first, and you can find the width anywhere. It doesn't have to be along the wall, just as long as you're going across the full width of the basement. So I'm going to go right down the middle of the basement here. And I know this basement is longer than 30 foot. So what I'm going to do is just pull my tape out to the 30-foot mark, and here's where it ends. I'm going to put a marker down here. You can use a pencil or whatever, just to lay it on the floor so that you know where your 30-foot mark is, or if you have a 25-foot tape, where your 25-foot mark is. So I know that that's 30 feet there. And I'll go from that mark the rest of the way to get the rest of the measurement. And there I got another 9 feet. All right, so 30 plus 9 is 39 feet. So let's put that on our drawing. Now, to make it easy so I don't crowd the inside of my basement where I'm going to be putting all my stuff, I'm going to put these measurements on the outside. You can see I'm making these hash marks around the outside off of each corner. All right, and I'm going to put that 39 foot right here, and then put a little line going over, a Put a line. Now you can make little arrows here, you can make little circles, it doesn't matter, but this is the way you begin your floor plan, because really that's what this is going to turn into. This is going to turn into the working drawing, the working floor plan for this basement that I'm doing for my client. All right, so if one side's 39, the other side's going to be 39 because it's a perfect rectangle. All right, now we got to get these two sides of the rectangle. So I'm going to go back over here to this end of the basement. I can measure either end. I'm going to come down here because it's a little easier to film. And I'm just going to measure right across here. You can see I'm doing this all by myself. I don't need a helper here. I'm just laying my tape on the floor. And I got 23 feet. We'll put those on the sides. 23 feet. And we'll make those arrows here, whatever you want to do. You can make a little circle up here at the end, or you can come down and put an arrowhead on there. All right, 23 feet. Okay, there's the dimensions of our basement. We know it's a 39 by 23 basement. Now the next thing that I'm going to put in here is going to be my stairs, all right? Because the stairs are kind of the biggest obstacle that you have to work around. And if you come over here and look back this way here, you can see that I'm standing in front of the staircase here. We've got the upper steps coming down. You can see them up there coming down. And then you can see a landing up here and then another set. So this set of steps comes down to a landing, turns, and comes down. All right, well, I've got to get this drawn on my plan over here so I know what I have to work around. So we're going to come back over here and we're going to draw that set of steps. All right, and they're going to look like this. Got a landing over here. And then we've got a set of steps coming down to the landing and then turning and coming back down like this. So I'm going to draw an arrow going around and up. Okay, I'm going to put up there. All right, so we go up the stairs to the landing, around, and then up to the first floor of the house. So there's my steps. Now what I want to do is I want to get the measurements of these steps. How big is my staircase? All right, I need a width and a length of these stairs. So I'm going to measure that right here because I'm standing in front of the stairway wall. I've got 8 foot that way, and I've got 7 foot this way. I'm going to go ahead and put that on there. All right, we're standing right here. We'll put one of those things you see at the airport. You are here. All right, we're looking this way. All right, so we just measured that there. The length of it is 8 foot, so we're going to put an 8 there. All right, and coming this way, it was 7 foot. Got little lines there. 7 foot this way. All right, there's our steps. Now, just having the size of the steps in relation to the basement is not enough. We have to get the location of those stairs in relation to all the other walls. Okay, so where is it actually sitting in the basement? So we'll get some measurements to find out. Now I get that by pulling my tape off of the walls in the basement, and it's really up to me how I want to do it. I can pull off this front wall back to the stairs, or I can pull off either of these side walls back over to the side of the steps to get 2 measurements. You need 2 points. So we're going to get this one first here, right where we're standing, off that outside wall, over to my steps. I've got 17 feet 6 inches. All right, so we're going to put that in there. 17 foot 6 inches. And we'll do our little measuring lines there. All right, and why don't we go from the side wall over there back to the front of the steps and get the other measurement. So that's what we'll do. Come off that wall there and right back over to the bottom of our steps, and that's 15 feet. All right, and we'll put that on there. 15 feet. All right, now we know the size of our steps and exactly where they're located. Okay, now we're ready for some more obstacles. The next ones that I put in are the support columns. Okay, and you can see we got here 3 of them. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, what we have to do is we have to find the centers of all 3 of these columns, because these are definitely going to play out in our design. Whether we're building walls around these, half walls between them, whatever it is that we're going to do, we're going to have to design around these. These are going to influence our design, so we have to know exactly where they are. Not kind of sort of where they are, we need to know exactly where they are. So I'm going to go ahead and draw them in here. I know I have one here, I've got one here, and I've got one more about halfway out in this bigger area over here. All right, so I'm just drawing 3 circles. And then I'm going to put some crosshairs on those, right down through them. All right, and what we're going to do now is we're going to find out where these poles are, these support columns are in relation to our exterior walls. All right, and we need 2 points again. I need an over and a back. So I'm going to come off the end wall down here and find the overs for all of them, and then the back on them. Okay. So let's do that first. Let's do the back over to them here. Off that back wall over to my center column, and I can take any 3 of these because they're all going to have the same over, because they're all in line with the beam above. All right? All 3 of these columns are holding up the same beam up here. So if I get one over measurement, I got all 3 of them. It looks like 9 foot 9. 9 foot 9 inches. So I'm going to put that on our drawing here. And this is the one we just measured, 9 foot 9 inches. And I know that the other ones are going to be 9 foot 9 inches as well, because they're all in perfect line. All right. There's our overs. Now we're going to find out what they are coming off this wall this way. Back down through all 3 of them, off this wall down here. What do we got between the wall and the first column? We've got 10 foot 8. Now I'm going to go from column to column now. I've got 10 foot. And this last one, 10 foot. All right, let's put those measurements over here on our drawing. We got 10 foot 8, 10 foot, and 10 foot. Okay. All right. So that's from here to here. This one's from there to there. And from here to here. All right. Now this may look confusing, but it's really not. This is really simple. But it has to be done, okay? Unless you want to pay somebody to come in and design your basement, you know, which can cost anywhere from $500 to on up to $2,500, depending upon who you would call. I mean, if you would call a registered contractor that specializes in basements to come in and just design your basement, they're going to hit you with prices like that. If you call an architect or a designer, they're going to charge you that as well. So I'm trying to save you some money right out of the gate and get you a little bit more intimate with your project. Because if you understand what you're doing here, the rest of the project will already be burned into your brain, because this is forcing you to design your basement exactly like it has to be. Okay? All right, now we got all that in there. That's our main dimensions. We got our support columns and our exterior walls. Now your basement might not look like this. Your basement may be like this, and then it may jut out like this, the foundation, and come over, and it may look like this. Okay? No big deal. You're just going to do the same thing. You're going to get your dimensions off of all of your different sides. All right, whatever shape your basement is. Say this is 20, all right, and this is 10. And this little piece right here is like 6 foot. You got to get them all. This side over here is 30. Okay, 30, and that's 6. So this side over here would be 36. All right, and your steps might not come down and turn like this. No big deal. Your steps might come straight down like this. Just one long set of steps straight down in, like this. Draw them in. Simple. Get it the length of your steps. Say they're 12 feet long. Put that in there. They're 3 feet wide. Put it in. All right. Maybe 10 foot off of this wall to your steps. And it may be 11 foot from this wall back here to the back of your steps. Now you know where your steps are located in relation to the basement, and you know the size of them. Simple. Your support columns might be here and here, and there might be 2 out here. No big deal. Put your crosshairs on, all right, and get your overs. Get your overs. Put your numbers in there, all right? Whatever shape your basement is, you're going to do the exact same thing I'm doing here. You're just going to apply it to your set of obstacles in your particular basement, okay? So don't be alarmed if you got a basement like that. I mean, your basement may come over and go out once and then go out again. Okay, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. You're just going to get the dimensions of all of the outside walls first, then put your support columns in, and put your stairs in, okay? And you're going to be right where we are right here, right now. All right, now the next thing that we have to do is we have to start putting in our mechanicals. So we've got a furnace over here. We got to know where this bad boy is, because guess what? He's a major design factor. We got to hide him away, and it's got to be done professionally, and it's got to look like it was done for a reason. So we got a furnace. Down here we've got electric panel box. Got to hide him. We have our water meter, our main valve coming in from the street, bringing the water into the house. We've got to hide this guy. Over here we've got a radon pipe sticking up out of the floor. We've got a sump pump in the corner. Can't move that. We're going to have to work that into the design. We have our water heater. Now water heaters, you know, you can see this is pretty flexible here. These lines can be cut, and water heaters can be moved to different locations. But we're going to try to work it into the plan so we don't have to move it, keep the cost down. All right, so we have him as well. So let's go over to our drawing and put those things in. All right, we've got our furnace down here, sitting right about here. I normally just draw a square where it's sitting and put an X through it. All right, you can put HVAC on there. That just means heating and cooling. All right. There's that. We know that over here in this corner we had a sump pump pit with the pump in it. We'll just put sump. Over about here we had our water heater, WH. Over here we had about 36 inches worth of pipes and stuff that was for our water meter. And what I normally do for this stuff, instead of writing inside here, I'll put an arrow outside my drawing like this, and I'll just write water meter. Okay. WH means your water heater, so we know what that is. We wrote sump in there. Our furnace over here, I mean, you can also put furnace there. All right. Now, while we're on the subject here of this floor plan, if you're pulling permits, the people that are going to approve your basement plan are going to want to see all this stuff anyway, so you might as well just get it all marked on here and get it laid out, because they're going to look at your drawing then and figure this guy knows what he's doing. All right, so I think that was the main obstacles. We did have a gas manifold right here, so we can put that on there. We'll just put gas. Okay, now let me just look around here one more time here, because I am new with this job. I'm not too familiar with it. Make sure I got all my obstacles. Okay, I missed the radon pipe. We'll go put that back on there. And I also like to mark the sewage lateral, the main place where the sewage goes through the wall. Now your sewage may go down into the floor, and you'll want to mark that as well. But I've got it going through the wall, and I want to know where that is, because we have a bathroom going in this job. And we're going to want to tie into that. All right, so back over to our drawing. I'm going to put a little, let's see here. Where's that relation? About halfway across. Okay, so we've got a pipe sticking out here, which I'm going to mark on there sewage. Sewage out. Out to the street. And then we had another little pipe here, which was radon. Okay, And that's pretty much it. I think we've got all the obstacles. Now all we've really done is we've drawn what's here now. All right, this has nothing to do with the design that we're going to be applying to this space, but now we know where everything is and what we have to work around. We know the locations of all the things that are in our road that we have to work into our design, okay? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a break here, turn the camera off, and remember I got my nephew Jonathan. Say hi, Jonathan.
Hi, what's up?
He's behind the camera, running the camera for me today. We're going to get set up here. We're going to come back to our board, and we're going to then apply the design we talked about earlier in the other video to this floor plan, okay? And I'm actually standing in what's going to be a home theater here. As you recall, once we got past these columns, I was in a home gym exercise area. This space back over here where all the stuff is going to be an unfinished storage room. We've got a closet that's going to be going in under the stairs for nice closet space under the steps. This corner over here we determined we'd like to turn into the home office, okay? And then over here, back out of the way in a nice area, tucked back around the corner here in a private little area, we're going to have a full bathroom right here. Now all the mechanical stuff that's over here, the water heater, the sump pit, the radon pipe coming up out of here, and the sewage lateral going out to the street, we determined that we could put all that in what we call an unfinished utility storage area, right back in here. So give me a couple minutes to get set up here, and we're going to take the confines of these areas, and we're going to create that floor plan. All right, and that's just one version of what I could do with this basement, okay? The very first thing that I needed to know, and the very first thing that you need to know, is what zones do you want? What is your wish list? What do you want for this new space, this new living space? What do you want to turn it into? All right, you really need to know why you're finishing the basement first. So once you have your design like this, your basement drawn with all the obstacles, then what you want to do is you want to come up with your zones, okay? What do you want down there? In this one here, we've got a home theater. We have a gym. We have a home office. We've got a full bath. We needed some storage space for our personal effects because the homeowners have storage stuff they need to store. We needed some closet space. Okay, these were kind of, I guess, what I like to call is the wish list. Start out with your wish list, no matter what it is. All right, you may have the space for all of it in your plan. You may not. You may have the money to do it all. You may not. So that's why we call it a wish list. You start out with everything that you want, and then you kind of work from there, and you see what you can afford to do and what is logistically possible to design into the confines of the space that you know you have now. All right? So I'll be back in a couple minutes, and we're gonna take this drawing right here and work these zones into this drawing and get some dimensions on it. And when we're done, what we would have created will be a working set of plans that we can take to the township and get building permits and actually start to begin the framing stages and the layout stages of our project. So this is some really good, useful stuff that we're giving you here today, and I want to help you get this project off and going on the right foot. So I'll see you back here in just a couple minutes.